Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to another Cinema 4D Basics. This is episode 3, and today I'll be showing you how to create a Mograph text object, and also how to manipulate it, and some of the attributes and the layout of it. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up our Cinema 4D Basics episode 1 that we did last time, unless you didn't save it, and then you'll just watch me open it instead. So we have the basic layout. We're all familiar with that, or we should be. If not, watch episode 1. The link will be up here. Click on it if you haven't already. Alright, back to this. Alright, to create a Mograph text object. I don't know if any of you have explored this after you've watched my first tutorial, but if not, then up here in the Mograph is where you'll find the Mo text. Ta-da! It appeared after we clicked it. Here it is in the object screen, where nothing much is there because we haven't got any materials on there and we haven't got any effects in there because we don't need them, because we're only basics. We're Cert 1 in Certificate Cinema 4D. So we're not going to look at that because that'll waste time. But I will show you real quickly, because I'll refer to this tomorrow, not tomorrow, in my next episode, episode 3. Yes, episode 3. I will show you how to put the what's it called? I've completely had a memory blank. The fracture object and the random effector. So to do that, you'll need to know how to edit the text. So to edit text, you just press C. I don't know why C. Just press C, and then you'll create a drop-down box telling you how many text objects there are. There is 1 at the moment. What it says, text, and each individual letter, and the font, the spline of it, whatever. It's pretty cool. So we go back to normal. Right, down here is the attributes. Here's the attributes. In basics, you have the name. I'm going to call it denied text. You can call it whatever you want. It's layout 1, obviously, because it's the only layer we've got. If it's visible error, yes, I don't know why you would ever change that, because you kind of always want it there, and if you didn't, you would forget about it. So, yeah, anyway, onto coordinates. The coordinates basically tell you where in your world it is. So if you press P, which means position, and X, you slide it down, moves it to the left, slide it up, moves it to the right, just like we did when we were up here. Moving this to the left and right, except this one is all of the controls here. Push it back to normal. The Y is up and down, so you do up and down, pretty simple. Z, I think that means the thickness of it. No, oh wait, wrong one, that's the size. Duh, fail. Alright, so Z is along the Z axis because it's 3D. My bad on that one. Now we get onto that. Size. X means the size it will be when you move it out, like that, but we don't want to. Y is when you move it up, and Z is when you move it out, so the thickness of it. We want it pretty thick, so we'll leave it like that. Rotation, obviously, no need to explain that. H, I just, horizontal, no, maybe not, I don't know. If you can figure out what the H, P, and B means, then you're going to get somewhere, because I don't know. I just know that that moves it left to right, that moves it backwards and forwards, and that moves it on a diagonal sort of thing. Alright, don't do that. Object. The object is basically the look of it. So what I just did there is the depth. That's the thickness of the text. As you can see, it changed when I did that, when I typed in 50 and got out of it. So that's a good one to remember. Subdivisions, don't click on that unless you have an effect that will shadow that. The text, what you want it to say, what you want your text to say. I'm going to type in denied because I can. And yeah, so you can type in whatever you want. It's pretty cool. Click on font to change your font. I'm going to go with Batman Forever because it looks cool and it's all in capitals. Yeah. Alright. That's the height. Yeah, I'll put it like that. Right, the height of it. Just basically all of this is pretty self-explanatory. Horizontal spacing is obviously how far away these bits are. Vertical spacing is if you have two words that you've put together, it's horizontal spacing of them. Pretty simple. The rest of it, don't really need to worry about. Caps are pretty fun. The start, this part, the end, the back part. Basically what caps are is it adds a nice little decoration to the front so it's not so bland like so. If you can see that, it looks really boring and yeah, I don't like it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a fillet cap because fillet caps look nice. Don't worry about the back one unless you're really fast, but I don't. Usually, I don't think many people put the back one on. It just looks better if you don't put the front one. Anyway, and the fillet type, sort of fillet cap you want. Oh, oops, that doesn't look right. Anyway, the fillet cap you want, I always go with one step because it just looks like you've engraved the outside of it. Looks nice because when I show you how materials, I can show you how to just put the colour on this part and a different colour on this part without having two objects in themselves. Looks pretty cool. That's just different sort of, that's another effect you can do, so it looks like rims on a car. Not really. So anyway, we'll move on to, move on to, not that because you don't need to worry about that, or that because you haven't got any effects. Nope, don't need to worry about any of that. Now we just got to think about the manipulation of it. So basically the same as up here. You click on what I showed you in the last episode, which was move. It has a little name there. The move, you grab the x-axis or the red one, move it right, move it left, move left. You can see down there the little red stripe is in centimeters the distance that it has moved. I've always wondered with the American versions, if there is an American version, does that show it in inches? Because they're imperial and we're metric. I've always wondered. If someone knows, can you please leave a comment in the comment section and tell me, is it in inches or is it in centimeters? And how do you adapt to that? Anyways, the y-axis, green, moves up, down. Same thing, green, stripe down the bottom. And then the z-axis moves it backwards and forwards. What's it called? The scale of the thing. You grab the same boxes to scale them out. I don't want to scale them out, but you muck around with that. Rotation, pretty obvious. And that's pretty much it. This here just shows you the recent tools you've used. That's pretty much it for Mograph and the manipulation of such. So tune in for episode 3 where I'll be showing you fracture object and random effector, which can create some cool effects in here, like my intro. I'll show you my intro real quick. Wherever it is. Here, this is a really simple one. I did it in about 5 minutes because I was bored and I needed an intro for my videos. I'll be creating a better one when I have more time and when I can be bothered. But that's really simple. I'll be teaching you how to do that. That's really simple. Then you can go on from there. You can kind of self-teach yourself because once you've done that, it's actually really simple. So, yes. Anyway, back to this. That's all I have for you in this quick little tutorial on Mograph and the manipulation of such. So subscribe, like this, comment about how I can make my tutorials more interesting. Thanks guys.